Hello everyone, this is Princess here, and for this video we are going to talk about the next character, which will be released in Chapter 8, Part 2. He was shown a bit in Part 1, and for those who don't know, this character is Braska. He is from Final Fantasy X. He's Yuna's father, and he went on this journey to defeat Sin with Auron Inject. So he's actually making it into Opera Omnia. Bit of a surprise, I know, but I think it's pretty cool, because we never actually saw, what he does in the game. Like, he wasn't a playable character or anything, he was just an NPC. But now we get to see him in Opera Omnia, and he has his own skill set, and I think that's pretty neat. So, for this video, we'll just be talking about his skill set, and then the Shinryu for Chapter 8, Part 2. So let's get started. Alright, so Braska's first skill is Curaga. It heals the party's HP by 50% of his max HP, and then raises party brave based on max brave. This also grants him the buff Journey to Save Spira for 3 turns. So then looking at the extension, it raises the party brave gain to 80%, and it has a 150% stolen brave overflow, and it also has an instant turn rate. As for Journey to Save Spira, it will raise the party's max brave and their attack. Then we have his second skill, which is Ultima. So again, this raises the party brave based on max brave, and then he will deal a 4-hit AoE brave HP attack with a 30% brave potency. It also deals split damage, and also grants Journey to Save Spira for 3 turns. So then for the extension, Ultima will be dealt 3 times. The brave hit potency is 55%, it has a 150% stolen brave overflow, and it raises brave based on total damage dealt after each attack. So then just going over to his calls, so when you call Braska in, he will use Curaga and just heal the party's HP. He will also raise the party's max brave and attack. Then for his LD call, I know I usually do this after going over the LD weapon, but I'm just going to do it right over here. So his LD call is called Ject Bomber, so when you call him in to use Ject Bomber, the caller will raise the party's brave damage, HP damage, stolen brave overflow, and their gain brave overflow. And then for his C65, it is Attack All, which will raise the party's attack. So then for the artifacts, and then for his spear. So for artifacts, you just want to go with his C50, his attack 108, and then max brave 330. And then for his spear, so it is a C spear called Critical HP Heal All. So when you deal a critical hit, you will heal the party's HP by 5%, but this is once per turn. Moving on to Braska's armor, so his 35 CP armor is Braska's bracelet. This will add 680 to his HP and 110 to his initial brave. Moving on to his 90 CP armor, it is his headdress thing. It adds 72 to his attack and then 84 to his defense. And then when you realize it, it adds another 680 to his HP and then 220 to his max brave. Then for his high armor, we have the High Summoner's Robes. So any self-granted brave gains goes up by 30% and also raises max brave cap. Okay, so now for his weapons. So his 15 CP is the Monk's Cane. This improves Curaga's heal and then extends Journey to Save Spira for 3 turns. Then his 35 CP weapon is the Mechanical Rod. This raises Ultima's brave potency and it improves the brave gain and also extends Journey to Save Spira for 3 turns. Then we have Braska's EX weapon, which is called Braska's Staff, and this grants him the EX skill Ultimate Ject Shot. So this raises brave based on max brave, and then he will deal a 4-hit AoE Fire Brave full HP attack with a 60% brave hit potency and a 120% stolen brave overflow. This also lowers fire resist to all targets for 6 turns, and then when you have 5 stacks of his overhead effect Overdrive, this will change into Ultimate Ject Shot Plus, which is primarily the same thing, but with some differences. So the brave gain is going to be 50%, the attack is dealt twice, and then the brave hit potency is 45%. And then as for the overdrive effect itself, so it is granted from the start of the quest when you have the EX weapon or his passive equipped. It raises attack and stolen brave overflow. It fills the EX gauge at 5 stacks. And then for the stacks themselves, so they go up by 1 at the start of Braska's turn, and then resets to 1 after being at 5 stacks. Then we have the LD weapon, which is the High Summoner's Staff. So this grants him the LD skill Ject Bomber. So what this does is it raises brave based on max brave, And then it deals a 2-hit Fire Brave HP attack dealt 4 times. It has 120% Brave hit potency and a 180% Stolen Brave overflow. It raises Brave based on total HP damage dealt after each attack, except for the last. And then when you have 5 stacks of Overdrive, this will change into Jet Bomber Plus. So the attack is dealt 5 times. The Brave gain is 50%, and then a Brave gain after each attack is 50%. And it also grants the Resolute Final Summoning buff for 6 turns, which can be extended to 12 turns when you get it to 2 out of 3. So as for Resolute Final Summoning itself, it adds Fire Enchant, raises HP damage, it raises the party's HP damage, their Brave damage, raises their Stolen Brave overflow, and their Gain Brave overflow. Finally, we have the Force Weapon, and I'm going to be honest, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a Feather Duster. So this is the Staff of Partings, and this grants the Force skill Mixture Power. So when you use this, he will call in a Metatelian, and then raises the party Brave based on max Brave, heals HP, and then does a 6-hit AoE Fire Brave HP attack dealt 3 times, and it has a 150% Brave hit potency. So as for the Force time itself, it starts at 120%, and to raise it up, it can be 10% at the start of Force time, 10% when a party member's HP is greater than or equal to their max HP at the end of their turn, and then another 10% when you're using a Fire Elemental skill. Right, lastly, we are going to talk about the EX Plus passives. So at 0 out of 3, Ultimate Jet Shot will have a 150% Brave potency, with the plus variant being 90%, and then both variants will have a 180% Stolen Brave overflow. And then at 1 out of 3, you start a quest with an attack and max Brave up. 2 out of 3, you start a quest with Journey to Save Spira for 6 turns. And then at 3 out of 3, so Ultimate Jet Shot will be dealt twice. Its Brave potency is going to be 105%, and then raises Brave by 20% of damage dealt after each attack except for the last, and it also grants him a free skill use, with some skills excluded. As for Jet Shot Plus, the attack will be dealt 3 times, and the Brave potency will be 80%. Okay, so now for the boss for Chapter 8 Part 2, it is going to be Braska's final Aeon, and he's also going to have these 2 adds with him called the U Pagodas. So just to look at some of the attacks, the biggest ones that I want you to watch out for is going to be Jet Bomber and then Jet Bomber Plus. So the Plus variant appears after he revives his HP, and then when he gets to 49%, he will dispel all of his debuffs, including frame buffs, and then have this like really high Brave gain, AoE Brave HP attack that could potentially kill. So make sure you have damage mitigation. Jet Bomber is just the same thing, but it doesn't remove its debuffs. But keep in mind that both variants are guaranteed hits, so make sure that you what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say like have evasion, but just, yeah, make sure you have damage mitigation. So as for the additional bosses, you have a U Pagoda on the left and then one on the right. So there's not really any difference in their attacks. They can reduce Brave damage by 90%, and they just use a bundle of different attacks that can delay you, and they do have guaranteed HP attacks. So again, damage mitigation like Orin or Warrior of Light can work for this. And then some other information I wanted to point out. So about Braska's final Aeon. So when you first fight it, it's not going to take any damage. So you have to kill the adds first, and then take out Braska's final Aeon, or BFA for short. So once his HP hits 0, he's going to revive and then attack by using a Jet Bomber Plus. And then at 49%, he's going to use it again, which of course can kill. So have damage mitigation there. And he also has this one attack that can petrify you and dispel 1 buff. So just to summarize, kill the adds first, then take out Braska's final Aeon, let him revive, and then just kill him again, and then watch out for his Jet Bomber Plus. Alright, and then just for the Force gauge itself, so the Force weakness is going into Force time while dealing a Fire Brave damage with the Force ability. So of course they want you to use Braska, but the way how it's worded here, you can probably get away with using something with a different Force like a Kane. I wouldn't recommend Kryl for this because hers is Thunder based. So then as for the Force gauge itself, so at 3 out of 5, it will resist non-fire brave damage. And then at 4 out of 5, it will have this HP sap based on initial brave after every turn. So basically after its turn, it will sap a bit of HP, which isn't annoying, but just something to look out for. And then at 5 out of 5, it just raises up the brave damage resist by 50%. So you want to make sure you have like some sort of fire enchanter for this. Luckily, besides Braska, you do have Jekt and Ignis featured for this fight, so you can use one of them. Or you can, or if you want it to be fancy, you could use a Lulu Call. And then for, sorry, I had to turn away for a second. For its Force Time, when it goes into Force Time, it will heal HP by 80% of damage received, which isn't like, which is just more annoying than anything. And again, like, you do want to make sure you have a force for this just to kind of get rid of, like, just to stop the healing. So with that being said, I'm going to head over to JP now, and I'm going to showcase Braska's skills. So I will be right back. Alright, so we are back in JP now. So this is the final boss for Chapter 8, Part 2. So this message right here means that you can't hurt him. So just to demonstrate here with Orin, he did not take any damage at all. So you want to kill the ads first, like I said. Alright, so first we're going to show off Kiraga, and what you can actually do with this, you can make Braska a Force Charger and just spam using Kiraga and just some of his other skills. I'm going to use also his attack all right over here. You can see the overdrive effect slowly going up. So now I'm going to use his, let's use Ultimate Jekt Shot right over here. I do find it a little weird that he's using this, that he's summoning his final Aeon on the final Aeon, but yeah, it's pretty funny. Let's actually do this. Actually, let me just skip ahead. Alright, so now we are going to use Ultima over here. Alright, so now that it's Braska's turn, you can see that he has 5 stacks of overdrive, so this is now Ultimate Jekt Shot Plus, and then we have Jekt Bomber Plus, so let's use the LD skill right here. Just like that, and he did also lower fire resist. Alright, so with that being said, that pretty much summarizes everything for Braska. I would show off his force too, but it's going to take like a while because I didn't put his force enhancements on him, and I didn't want to do that because I don't use him a lot. But anyway, so that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you will be pulling for Braska's kit, and I will see you all next time.